The hook's important, so I'm going to do one more. The entire narrative in the province and in the country in regards to the real estate market has been supply issues and high demand. In this video, we're going to be going over the record population growth here in New Brunswick and in the entire country, and how that affects the supply and demand issues that we've been having over the last few years, as well as touching on how New Brunswick compares to the rest of the provinces in Canada. Then we're going to go into this beautiful city of mine, St. John, New Brunswick, and what's going on in the real estate market here, and touch quickly on the predictions for the interest rates moving forward in 2024, what all this means, and how you can use it to your advantage. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Brandon Vincent. I'm a real estate agent in eXp Realty. I've been actively selling real estate for over 5 years, with over 25 million in gross sales of volume in those 5 years. The goal on this channel is to bring you relevant real estate information in an entertaining way. If you like the sound of that, do me a favor, hit the like and subscribe button, because I'll be making more videos like these. Without further ado, let's get into this 2024 spring market update. I gotta take my sweater off. This is going to get intense. The first thing we need to talk about is the population growth in New Brunswick. Blaine Higgs just announced that the population of New Brunswick hit a staggering 850,000 people. Higgs says our province is experiencing growth like never before. Now, this sounds shocking to a lot of people here in New Brunswick because we're not used to a population growth on this scale. And a big reason for this growth is that the cost of housing in some of these other provinces is so astronomical that most people can't afford to buy a house. And a lot of them are looking at New Brunswick as such a unique opportunity to come here and enjoy our lifestyle along with our extremely affordable housing. Another factor that needs to be taken into consideration is the immigration into the country as a whole. Here's an interesting article from CBC. Population growth rate in 2023 was the highest it's ever been since 1957, 66 years. So this is going to bring us to a lot of the supply and demand issues that we've been facing over the last 3 years. And the reason being is because there's so many people coming into the country and also moving to New Brunswick because we have such affordable housing. Builders and housing starts, which is how many homes are starting being built, just can't keep up to the influx. So we have all these people coming in, there's just not enough homes being built and not enough inventory being generated, just causing that pressure on the supply and demand and driving up house prices. We're still seeing multiple offers here in New Brunswick and in St. John. We're still seeing a lot of that when houses are priced properly. Talking about homes being priced properly, let's look at the average home price for New Brunswick compared to the rest of the provinces in Canada. As of February 2024, the average house price in New Brunswick is $310,343. Now, that average house price is the third lowest in all of Canada, with only Newfoundland and Labrador the second most affordable, and Saskatchewan in the most affordable. So you can start to see why New Brunswick becomes so enticing to a lot of people in other provinces, where in BC, the average house price as of February was $987,000. And then in Ontario, the average house price, $873,000. So you can start to see why we have so many people from these provinces looking at New Brunswick and coming here to enjoy life and actually be able to have the dream and enjoy home ownership, because that's just not an option for them where they're at. A chart that I want to show you that is extremely enticing, and I want to explain why, is the residential average house price. And I want to show you something because this is super important. So something that you can see here is a common trend that I've noticed. House prices in New Brunswick have been consistently rising, and it happens especially at its peaks in the summer and spring months. So you can see that there was a common trend for about 5 years where the average house price in New Brunswick goes up in the summer and starts to go down towards the winter, and every January it seems to hit its lowest. Well, it's coming back up to its highest right around July of every single year. It kind of does these waves where it almost looks like a consolidating stock. Coming into January 2021, we kind of hit a little consolidation point here, and then what happens as we're going into the spring and summer markets, we start to hit a huge spike up. And that was when the interest rates were dropping and starting to get towards its lowest. And that was putting a lot of buying power in everybody's hands. And there was so much chaos going on in the world. Everybody's looking at New Brunswick as a place that had all this extra space and living area. And we were doing really well as a province with all things considered. Now coming into January 2022, we hit a little bit of a valley again, and then we go back up in the summer. And then what happens in the winter? Well, look, we start to drop back down. 2023 summer, we went back up to where we were the previous year, the previous high, right over 300, right around 325,000. I think we are going to blow that out of the water this year, personally myself. We are already in the month of February, sitting right at where we were in the summer months of 2023 and 2022. So I think that we're going to see a good bump up here in prices across New Brunswick for the average house price. And I will tell you why that is at the very end of this video. If you've made it this far, I just want to say personally that I appreciate you so much, because I put a lot of time into making these videos and try to make them as informative and fun for you. So do me a favor, hit the like and subscribe button, but let's get back into it. Now let's touch on what's going on in St. John, New Brunswick. So the sales activity for the month of March was 147 units sold for the St. John and surrounding area. That's with an average house price of $326,937. When it comes to sales activity, that's starting to get back to more of a 2016, 2018 kind of area. Now, when you compare it to 2021, 2022, well, you can't compare because that wasn't a standard market. Things were crazy in those 2 years, so that's not a good measuring stick for what the standard is. This is where we get back to the supply and demand conversation here in St. John. So right now, the months of inventory are 2.6. If no new listings came on the market, every single listing that's on there would be sold within 2.6 months with the current sales demand. To put this into perspective, the average months of inventory here in St. John was right around 10 months prior to 2020. And I'm going to wrap up what all this means and how you can use it here in a second. But first, we need to talk about the current and most recent prediction of where the interest rates are going to go here in Canada. The market consensus on the mortgage rate forecast in Canada is for the central bank to hold its prime rate at 5% at its April 10th, 2024 meeting, and then cut rates by 25 basis points at its July 24th meeting. So what does all this mean, and how can you use this to your advantage? So months ago, I made a video predicting what I believed was going to happen by the end of 2024 here in New Brunswick, that with the interest rates predicted to drop coming into this summer, I believe that we're going to see an influx in the average house price across the province. And the reason being is because over the last year, we have had interest rates going up and up and up and up. And the home prices here in New Brunswick have been holding steady. And if not anything, actually starting to go up with no sign of the interest rate doing anything but holding steady. So once they start to drop the rate, which they're predicting to do even more by the end of the year, I believe that this is going to cause an immense amount of stimulation in the market. And I think that there is a lot of pent-up demand. And this growth from the province, with the population increasing, with New Brunswick, third lowest average house price in all of Canada, there are so many factors at play here that I truly believe are going to stimulate our housing prices to points that we've never seen in the past. This might be a great time coming into this spring and summer market for you to list your house. Now, you have to make sure that you do so carefully with a strategy and that you know where you're going next. And if you're a buyer looking to get into this very competitive market, just know when you're paying over asking price because you're competing with all these other offers and bids, it may seem like you're overpaying in the moment, but think about where the market is going to be in 2 years, 3 years, even 10 years from now. Have a plan in place. And if you're a builder, the supply and inventory is needed here. And if you're able to build a new construction for anywhere around 300 to 400,000, then you're hitting a niche market, new construction and affordable new construction, more importantly. Thank you so much for watching it to the very end. If you've made it this far, make sure you hit the like, subscribe button, follow along for my journey. I hope this video has brought you some value, and I appreciate you so much for watching it to the very end. Leave me a comment, let me know what you liked about it. Besides that, have a great day.